there hasn't been a major change to it recently, right? It's been pretty much the same for a long while.
Yeah. I think maybe part of the reason for its resurgence is Tier 2 has been becoming a lot more popular, and the Wolf pairs very well with most of the Tier 2 units.
Well, we're going to see and find out how this is going to go. It's going to be ChipFromSpace to the north and Mishi to the south as we enter game number 1 here between these two players right now and on this beautiful Monastic Gardens map. This is probably one of my favorite map tile sets personally.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
And speaking of which, very nice and very deceptively open map, despite how much water there is interspersed throughout it. So both sides going to be getting their initial warns out. So this is a very interesting thing is that right now we've been seeing 8 farm warren openings, and over here we're going to see a 5 farm warren opening. So
Yeah.
something a lot quicker here this time around, just in case. I think it's because ChipFromSpace is a little bit worried about those moles.
And the other thing is, this map, in addition to this map being very open, there's a road that connects the two bases, so the rush distance is even shorter than it looks.
And right now, just gonna wave that Skull and Bones flag that Mishi has currently on his little hopper there. ChipFromSpace hasn't gone for any customizations himself yet, going for the humble green. And right now, both sides just taking it easy, even though they both went the 5 farm warren. This may as well be an 8 warren game. 8 farm game.
Yeah. You put down the early warren because you want to be safe against your opponent, but if you're not confident to make an aggressive play yourself, you just eco up.
Both sides just doing exactly that, nearly neck and neck with each other, as both sides going to be getting their second score warrant out at the moment too. But ChipFromSpace is getting a lot of food. Mishi going to go straight into Chameleons here. Some nice little tanky frontliners, doing a lot of damage to the squirrels. But ChipFromSpace looks like he will be grabbing snakes in his stead. So those Chameleons have to be a little bit careful of their positioning against these snakes. But if they can get to the back lines and start hitting the snakes, they'll pretty much get a trade.
Yeah, and the chameleons are tankier, and the snakes take a while to ramp up their damage by getting poison stacks. So while the snakes will trade if Mishi makes an aggressive play, and the chameleons can't retreat to clear the poison.
I will say I do appreciate, like, because Chips has been playing this game for a very long time, like, his micro skills in this game is actually very good. Like, he knows how to position his units in front. He's actually going to use his snake up to just try to poke his way through into Mishi's base, try to incite the reaction. But Mishi, calling the flag for his chameleons, trying to see if we can get them to attack right now. Get him on the front lines. ChipFromSpace just slowly poking his way through with the snakes.
And speaking of that micro, Chip also put down a toad warren, and the recent change to toads makes them require a little bit more micro than they did before to use effectively, because now you have to, if you want to get the full damage, you have to drag the toads into the middle of the army.
So we can't actually see the chameleons, but you can see just Mishi just trying to get this chameleon to the front line. Oh, the snakes! Immediately clobbered. There goes one snake, and Chip has to retreat. Doesn't want to lose his second snake to that fight. But surprise, I got chameleons, but ChipFromSpace was able to take out both chameleons himself. So still a trade in his favor right now. So Mishi is starting to set up defenses here. Getting a very far forward.
Look at this, here come the toads.
Machine gun nests.
Oh, that machine gun nest denies almost all the toads. Only one goes off.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Very nicely placed machine gun nest, but the Chip is going to be able to take it down. He has a lot of units on the field, but the chameleon coming in, evening out the numbers, and ChipFromSpace only has the snakes on board right now. These chameleons are proving to be very hard for Chip to deal with at the moment. And you see just the way that Mishi's like just rallying the units right now, making sure he keeps his chameleons hidden within the squirrels, making it hard for Chip to figure out where the chameleons are going to be coming out from. And right now he's just going to be chasing down the snakes, just doesn't care anymore about pomp and circumstance. Just wants those snakes dead. Oh my gosh, this dance right here. Right now, he's already been able to take out one snake. The other snake is so low on health right now. Oh, but the Chameleon does go out first, but he still has a second Chameleon making his way through, trying to tear through into Chip's front line. He's losing a lot of squirrels, only 2 to his name at the moment. The first Warren goes down. Here comes the second Warren as well, and that's going to be game.
I think the critical moment was that time when Chip tried to get his toad donations, and that machine gun nest denied all but one of those 9 toads. That was... man. I don't think Chip was demoralized by that, and I don't think he could come back from it.
Alright, we're going to be heading into game number 2 very shortly here. Right now, ChipFromSpace looking for a bit of revenge here. Changes up not one bit, though, from his original composition. And Mishi, also not really changing too much of them, so both of them pretty confident in what they've selected right now. Gotta be careful with how they move on forward, though. That chameleon timing coming up from Mishi was really good for him.
Looks like they've started the next game already. Well, they're into the next game already.
Yeah, they're in game number 2 at the moment.
Yeah. You're still talking
I'm watching them right now.
Okay.
I'm talking. Just making sure.
I'm behind. All right.
Oh, you're behind a little bit? Okay.
No, I caught up.
All right, cool. In the meantime, we're gonna have these first initial 5-farm Warrens come out once again here. Both sides playing out very safely here. And Chip, he still believes in the Toads right now. He still believes in them. They did get a nice little damage buff to make sure they get their trades in worthwhile. And this map is pretty sparse in terms of farm. We got Mishi with 3 farms all to himself to the back of the map, but ChipFromSpace only has 1, and it's a little bit too far forward than he'd probably like. Although it is out of the way of the main path thanks to the cliffside and trees. And there's one far campfire off to the corner. Probably no one's really going to bother with it too much unless they really need that extra farm. But right now, Mishi in a pretty good spot to begin with at the moment here. Going to be putting some forward Warrens here just to stave off any aggression. Also make it easier to resupply on the road that is right between their bases. Very nicely there. And ChipFromSpace will be the one who goes into the early chameleons this time.
Yeah, I think the reason for that is the last game, the machine gun nest really denied his toads super hard, and he didn't have a great way of dealing with it with what he had built. So now he's going for the chameleons earlier to be able to deal with these machine gun nests that Mishi's putting down.
I'm still actually kind of curious as to Mishi as his plan. It looks like he's just going to turtle up as much as he can here.
Well, remember the idea of his deck is to get the wolf and tier 2 combo out. So this turtle is what he's enabling him to do that.
The scary thing though is that if Chip, he should be able to read what's happening here. He can just start to build an army of his own as Mishi is waiting to get his own farm up, as he did put a bit of food into getting those defenses up for himself.
Yeah. But this is the only choke point. So if Chip wants to attack, he has to attack through these 3 machine gun nests and 2 Warrens.
He's starting to get that army value though into his name already. He's going to be putting down his snake Warrens, going to be built very soon. The 12 squirrels also making their way through, while Mishi going to go into double chameleons to help defend himself. And ChipFromSpace scouts out that far campfire there, going to be grabbing it for himself. He has an extra spurt of food.
So I'm curious why Mishi hasn't done any economic expansion yet if he's going to be turtling this hard.
It looks like he's just about to do that right now, just heading to the back of the map, grabbing that back mill there. So he is going to be able to finally get some economy, but this does still put Chip ahead in the lead just by a little bit in terms of that. And she has to be a little bit careful about this because, again, the thing about usually seeing turtles in this game is that the person turtling often kind of deceives himself in how well he's doing. Mostly because he doesn't really scout his opponent enough, though. So ChipFromSpace just doing plenty of scouting for himself, even though has to be a little bit careful of these machine gun nests. And actually sells off the toads, just going straight into farms. He's seeing Mishi just sit behind his defenses, and He's just going to try to balloon up himself and try to get to that critical point. And he actually finds a back route. Oh. Mishi is going to probably block that off. There it is.
None of that, sir. None of that.
No. Yeah, it's a plumber coming to your house. Like, no, not broken pipe. Here, I got gum. I'm gonna put it right there. Fixed pipe. No more leaky pipe.
So Chip has filled out his mill, and while it does put him several farms ahead of Mishi economically, it does put him on a bit of a timer because now he has to break through this defensive line because he doesn't have anywhere else to expand to. So once these farms are out, in 5 minutes, Chip's going to be starting unless he breaks through.
And he still has a very strong army though to his name. He's going to have a lot of toads to take down the burst of the chameleons. He has the badger, he can just sit in the back to shoot at everything. He has the 2 warrens of snakes, which will do a lot of damage to these units. And just allow his squirrels to mow down the structures. So still a lot going for ChipFromSpace right now. And the thing is, if the army value graph is a little bit deceptive because Mishi has 4 machine gun nests on the field. He does have his wolf out though, so he's going to try to boost his economy as quickly as possible, immediately taking the wolf down to his expansion to buff them up faster, so he can get his own units up and going for himself.
Yeah, and that's like 6 farms for Mishi.
Alright, we're going to see the economic boom coming from Mishi here as it's sitting nicely behind this machine gun nest line here, the Maginot line. Maginot? I don't know how to say it.
Maginot, I believe.
Maginot. Right now, he is going to be able to try to make his way through. Sees the tier 3 out. It's a badger, so Mishi needs to kind of act now.
Well, I think the issue's on Chip's foot. Chip's the one who has to act now because if he just lets Mishi get all this income from the wolf buff farms, he's gonna snowball.
The thing is that Chip is now investing into Double Badger right now. He has the farm to support it for the time being. Mishi not going to be able to scout that out in time, I believe. And just take a quick look to see. And no, he does not see. Oh, he does see the Double Badger. Just barely clipped at the very edge before he died. But he knows that 2 tier 3s are on their way right now.
Yeah, I guess Chip feels like he needs the extra power to break through this defensive line. But by the time it comes out, Mishi is going to be surging ahead with a huge economic lead and just have a larger army.
Chip just trying to make sure he has the numbers to compensate right now. Making sure he gets a nice amount of tier 2s to his name here. Mishi, meanwhile, still going to be boom farming, moving his... he moved his wolf up just a little bit to make sure his unit got produced faster and moving them back down to the farms now to make sure they're working faster. Just a long, hard life of yelling at people for this wolf here.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Chip has sold off all of his toads. I think he's got enough tank line with the chameleons and snakes to allow them safe passage to their targets, but
he wanted that double badger. He wanted that double badger.
He needs to... He can't micro his toads and his badgers at the same time, I think, and he just wants to have all his food invested into his badgers and the tank line.
He's approaching the line. Right now, the chameleon's coming out to play. He's held them long enough, taking out the first initial wave. Oh my gosh, those chameleons just disappeared. Mishi lost all of his chameleons in one go. The wolf is down as well. The double badger's still going on right now. They're both at very low health, though. Both are down for the time being. But that army value graph not looking good for Mishi right now. He has a lot of units that are just a little bit too frail to stand up to these Falcons and Squirrel combination. And Chip is just focusing them all down as fast as he can. That army value that Mishi had is just gone.
Yeah, Mishi reacted just a little bit too slow. Half his army was gone before he brought his squirrels into position.
Oh my gosh, what a play coming out from ChipFromSpace. Just getting those chameleons out in the front, immediately taking out everything. Allowing the backline to just make their way through. Mishi trying to put a machine gun nest to defend a little bit, but he has no army. He has 3 chameleons and that's pretty much it. He's gonna get the
burst
wolf up
damage
soon.
from those chameleons and falcons was crazy.
Just everything just all the chameleons just melted immediately as soon as they appeared. Like, they appeared because Chip's own chameleons were appearing at the same time, and he just wasn't able to react fast enough. He's gonna lose the machine gun nest. This mill is gonna be done for. He has his wolf on very low health right now, but Chip can just chase him down at this point. That wolf is gone. The chameleon trying to do its best, but it can't do anything about these falcons here. Doing its best, but not enough here, and I think this is game. Mishi does not have the army to fight off against him. Wow. One burst and dead.
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy graph. It's a steady climb up and then like an almost vertical line for both armies.
I mean, that's what a turtle game is. That's what happens. Like, it's not gonna be like 2 or 3 fights. There's gonna be one big fight at the end.
But it wasn't like a grudge fight. It was like there was so much burst in both armies that it was just like so many units just died instantly.
And again, just Mishi losing all of his chameleons at once. Just unfortunately, he had nothing to soak up damage with. And the Badger just went ducka 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 throughout the entire time, taking out most of the Falcons. Like, dang. And right now, both sides still sticking with the tier 2 army. Both have win the piece.
Mishi is swapping out his machine gun nests for mines this time.
Alright, back to the Monastic Gardens we go here as ChipFromSpace takes his place in this east side as Mishi in the northwest. And this time, again, another small map here, both sides with choke points. Although Chip has a really bad choke point.
Yeah. I mean, Mishi can easily box him in, but he only has mines this time. He doesn't have the machine guns. If he had the machine guns, he could have just walled off Chip from the entire map.
And he changed his mind at the last second. He was thinking about what to bring, but I think the last game kind of scared him off from using machine gun nests. Just again, he put so much value into so many stacked defenses there so early on, and it didn't really do too much because Chip was never attacking. It's like, again, it's like that deceptive feeling of feeling safe behind your turtle, but if your opponent doesn't attack, then kind of no point to having those machine gun nests up, man. Mishi feels that, taking the mines instead.
Yeah, and Mishi's taken the ferrets again this game. He didn't build them last time, and I'm not sure he'll build them this game either, because if you look at how the map's situated, like Mishi doesn't really have a good opportunity to use those ferrets, because he'd have to walk through that choke point to get anything, to be able to hit anything with the ferret in Chip's base.
Well,
there's a really good siege position.
And both sides just trying to scout out positions here. And the thing is that Mishi has a nice little safe expansion to his north side. ChipFromSpace probably going to have to think about getting a proxy sometime soon if he wants to keep up farm. Or he goes for an all-in attack, which he might be doing because he's going straight into Chameleon after one Warren.
And I think this is a good play from Chip because it's difficult for Mishi to attack into Chip's position, so he has the safety to do an early tech up.
And Mishi currently just littering the field with mines right now, just trying to create a zoning barrier against Chip. But Chip is well aware of their positions.
And Chip has these chameleons, so he can just trigger them one at a time and back off to heal up and repeat.
That's it. Mishi still has a nice economic advantage in terms of his map layout. And he does have a large army on his way right now, with Chip only have 3 squirrels versus Mishi's 11. So Mishi going to try to press the advantage here, putting his squirrels a little bit up forward on top of his mines just to like lessen any aggression coming out from Chip's side. But Chip is getting 4 chameleons out right now, and that 4th one is coming out very soon. Like, chameleons do a stupid amount of burst damage now, because and squirrels are not the thing you want to use to fight against them. But Mishi doesn't really have anything to stop that burst other than his own chameleons and maybe mines.
Yeah, these mines are going to do a lot, I feel.
But it just depends on if he procs them, because all Chip has to do is just hold. Do chameleons proc mines when invisible?
They do. They do now.
They do now. Okay.
Yeah.
So he does have something to defend with, but then he can just play Minesweeper with his chameleons and just back out. They're not going to die instantly from the initial few bursts of mines. You need like 4 or 5 mines, I think, to kill all the chameleons, but Even then, it's not going to be too much of a hassle for Chip if he's just going to be going on the scouting mission.
And what Mishi's trying to do is get up a squirrel ball that's big enough to try to deny the commander from walking up. Oh, he's trying to trigger the mines with toads.
That's one mine gone. It also reveals the chameleons as well.
So that's an even trade, but it clears this path for Chip.
Yep, there goes another mine. And here comes the squirrels here trying to do as much damage as they can. But the first chameleon's gone. The second chameleon's gone too. Chip's own 4 chameleons just doing so much damage right now to them. All he has left are squirrels, both sides losing the chameleon army, but Chip has the numbers on his sides. Thanks to that initial burst in the chameleons. Baited is what just happened there.
Well, some good mine hits though.
Now, he does have the mines to defend, but that's pretty much all he has at this point. His units are trickling in, his chameleons are going to be coming back online,
here come
but
the
he still has
chameleons.
toads. He has to be careful not to be right in front of the toads there. Chip just needs to release the controls, and the toads will just do their damage just like that. There goes a nice toad burst there, and now the chameleon's going in to clean things up right now. And this time, Mishi doesn't have the mines to defend with. Oh my gosh, even the new chameleon coming out, just getting instantly sniped out by the invisible chameleons. And Chip, he's going to be taking this game and set with a great patient play coming out for himself. And Mishi, once again, too much faith in these static defenses.